UAP has begun trading its new shares in the OTC market to create liquidity ahead of its listing on the Nairobi Securities Exchange over in Kenya in 12 months. This comes barely a month after a successful IPO that was oversubscribed by 30%, raising 971.9 million Kenyan shillings. CNBC Africa's Liban Cliff Onserio caught up with the company's managing director Dominic Chiari to discuss this milestone.
Today marks the launch of the over-the-trading counter platform for trading of UAP holding shares, and that's on the back of a very successful completion of a public offer. Now, we went to market in mid of November to raise 750 million shillings as part of the public offer, out of which we managed to raise about 971 million shillings. That was a subscription of 130%. So it's a fairly very positive endorsement by the new investors in UAP and of course the general public, of which we're extremely grateful for the confidence they've shown in us. Now, as part of our strategy, the next step after the public offer is to offer liquidity to investors who've invested in UAP. The board approved us trading these shares in over-the-counter market. So the over-the-counter market will operate through two market operators, and that's Genghis Capital and CFC Stanbic. Of course, all the brokers will be participants in that market. We've created a very, very strong framework on how that market is going to operate to ensure that the market is orderly, yes, and that investors are treated fairly. And the intention is in a period of 12 to 18 months, so in other words, next year, in the first half of next year, we're going to list UAP shares through an introduction on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So it's part of the process of eventually becoming a listed company at the NSE.
Sure. We're looking at a timeline between 12 to 18 months,
yes,
prior to listing on the NSE.
That's right.
Why is this so?
Now, why 12 months is under the public offer rules, under which this public offer was approved by the Capital Markets Authority. Yes. The earliest we can list is 12 months. So it says that you have to list at least after 12 months. And that's why for us the intention is to list within 12 to 18 months. Yes.
Analysts are putting the spread of the UAP shares at say 65 shillings to 70 shillings per share. Yes. What do you think about this?
Now, our view has always been, when we went to market with a price of 60 shilling, our view was that that was a deeply discounted price. And therefore, as you'd expect, once the shares start trading, they're going to reflect what's a fair value price of that. So one would expect to see definitely a price appreciation, yes, to the extent that there was a deep discount. In our case, we strongly believe that the 60 shillings which we went to market, it was deeply discounted. Now, what is a fair price? Our view is, I think there will be a price discovery in the next couple of weeks. Yes. But we are very optimistic, we're very bullish about the prospects for UAP going forward. The group has registered very strong growth in earnings. Last year, if you look at our figure end of Q3, very, very strong and in line with our expectations. We also expect overall 2012 to be a very good year. Yes. And on the back of that, we'll continue growing our business to make sure we deliver very strong returns to all our key stakeholders. So 2013, we also expect a fairly good year as well.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Let's look at the timing of the launch for the over-the-counter trading of, yes, the shares. It's 2 months to the elections. Any chances you could take on this?
Well, it's a coincidence. General elections is, yes, part of the political process in this country. They need to be held every 5 years. I think for us, it's a coincidence because we began the journey of being a public company in early 2011. Of course, the thinking and discussion will be there for quite a while. Yes. So 2011, that's when the board approved for UAP to review various options of being a public company. Yes. We decided to have a two-pronged approach. One is to go to the private equity market, where we managed to raise 4.6 billion shillings. And now we've managed to raise another 750 million shillings from the public market, resulting to a capital raising of about 5.4 billion shillings. So it's just a big coincidence because when we started the process, for us it was very clear the various steps we had to go through. We got the approvals last year from CMA. We had to make sure that we comply with all the requirements of the public offer. Yes. And it just happened that we closed at the end of last year and the trading starts now. However, we don't expect the elections to affect. Our own view is that we hope domestic elections will be peaceful.
Yes.
But if you look at the outlook for the economy, it's very strong.
Yes.
I think the outlook for the insurance industry is also very, very strong. And on the back of that, we intend to build a very, very strong business that can take advantage of the very key opportunities we see in Kenya and other markets we operate in. So we remain very optimistic that UAP will continue performing very, very strongly and ahead of expectations.